What irritated me about the predecessor was that the quality was not good enough. The Volkswagen Caddy 3 had too thin a paint coating, which could cause corrosion in areas of mechanical damage. There were also many complaints about the interior decoration, especially before restyling. All these are typical problems of the VW group in the early 2000s. In the case of the fourth generation, there are much fewer complaints. However, do not forget that this is still a relatively new car. However, in 5-year-old copies you can already find several minor problems. First of all, this is wear on the sliding side door rollers. Fortunately, so far there are no paint scuffs. This is where corrosion usually began in its predecessor. Things are a little worse with the paintwork of the painted bumper, under the trunk door. Paint is usually damaged during unloading or loading. To prevent the defect, you can purchase an additional cover. The interior is holding up well. The interior used in the Caddy 4 is more reminiscent of the Golf 6 than the 5. It has no quality issues. However, the optional glazing of sliding side doors sometimes not only makes a lot of noise, but also lets water through. In a Caddy that has carried loads a lot and often, it is worth paying attention to the condition of the springs. They may be tired. The predecessor had a number of unsuccessful engines. Suffice it to recall the petrol EA111 or diesel EA188. Both have a bad reputation, which could force them to incur enormous repair costs. However, there were also better engines in the engine range. In the fourth generation, Volkswagen used only modified power units that are worthy of recommendations. When considering the engine version, you should consider how you plan to use the Caddy, as well as its service history. I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what breaks and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with, and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro. Gasoline units are representatives of the EA211 series, with a timing belt drive. These engines have a very good reputation. Basic, 1.0 TSI/102 HP. Sometimes he had problems with the water pump. The remaining ones are 1.2 TSI/84 HP, 1.4 TSI/125, 131 horsepower and TGI version/110 horsepower on natural gas, quite popular in Germany and Italy. For economical driving, of course, the 1.4 TSI is optimal. Most cars have manual transmissions. Among the malfunctions, there are cases of premature wear of the clutch, and less often, wear of the gears. The 1.4 TSI could be combined with a 6 or 7-speed DSG. DSG 6 is considered slightly more durable. In DSG 7, after approximately 200 to 250,000 kilometers, cases of very expensive repairs were observed. Gasoline versions of the Caddy could only be front-wheel drive. From 2015 to 2020, Volkswagen installed EA288 series turbodiesels here. This is a modern unit with a common rail injection system. It has been significantly improved. With proper maintenance and refueling with good fuel, a turbodiesel usually does not cause problems. The 2.0 TDI was offered in boost variants from 75 to 150 horsepower. The most balanced is a 102 horsepower engine with a maximum torque of 250 Nm. A typical malfunction of diesel units is a clogged DPF filter. The problem primarily affects cars operated in urban environments. Bad fuel can accelerate wear of the injection system. Fortunately, Bosch piezo injectors are reparable. In diesel versions, in addition to mechanics, you can also count on DSG with 6 gears. They are more durable than DSG 7. True, with long runs, the likelihood of expensive robot repairs inevitably increases. A 5-speed manual transmission was installed in versions with a power output of 75 and 102 horsepower, and a 6-speed manual transmission was installed in variations with a return of 122 horsepower. The diesel Caddy could be all-wheel drive, with the 4-motion system. It is noteworthy that the rear suspension remained the same. All-wheel drive was only available with 122 horsepower engines. With 6-speed manual transmission, and 150 horsepower, DSG only. Volkswagen Caddy 4 is not cheap, and you also need to be careful when searching. Many cars have extreme pasts. In general, there are no serious complaints in terms of durability. In addition, repairs will not be difficult, since well-known technologies are used, and spare parts are quite cheap, as they are interchangeable with other VW Group models. There are no problems with corrosion yet, known from its predecessor.